And so finally, our last topic, again, in CorasWorks v11.4, making our lives easier, faster to configure, faster to build. Let's look at our CorasWorks CAPS XT, our external data service. And first, what I'll show here is we've already got some displays built out using a SQL database, right? The classic AdventureWorks demo database, some of you may be familiar with. And I've got a number of pages here built that are showing information from that database in a CorasWorks grid, leveraging our CAPS XT service to feed that data into those displays. And we mentioned that unlike previous technology, the management or creation of these external data connections no longer requires SharePoint Designer working in XML files and nuanced formats and property names. All of that's been simplified for you through a nice drag and drop GUI we call the CAPS XT Connection Manager. Looking back at those display pages, you can see exactly where some of that data is coming from, whether it was the department list we looked at, the employees, the products, the vendors. The Connection Manager makes it very easy for me to see those connections, filter down by category, whether it's HR connections, production, or seeing all of them. I can expand to view more detail so I can see exactly where that data is coming from, again, if I have permissions. Or I can even make changes to that given connection directly through the interface as well. Creating a new connection is simply a matter of filling out the form. I can start from scratch, in which case I simply select the type of external database I'd like to connect to, give that connection a name. Optionally, I can categorize it, give it a description, and then fill in some information about the server, IP or name, the database I want to connect to, user ID and password, etc. Right? The wizard is also smart enough to account for the fact that different databases will require different login parameters. So again, you no longer have to know exactly what those parameters are, how to format them. The wizard will walk you through it, simply fill in the information as needed to connect to that external data source. We also give you the ability to copy an existing. So once you build one connection to a database, if you're going to do multiple calls against that same database as multiple parts of an application, you can simply take an existing one, copy it, and make modifications as needed to the parts that are different. Maybe you want to initiate a different type of query. Maybe you want to apply some XSL. Maybe you want to append some parameters as part of this connection. All of that you can do directly through the wizard here. And of course, once you've configured a connection, you want to make sure that that connection works as expected. And that's what this link option gives you as well, the ability to take and test any connection and see the result in real time. You can see how fast that query came up for me. Okay. Again, we talked about alternate format types as well. So if I want to say, return this data as JSON instead of XML, I simply append a format equals JSON parameter, and I get that new output type as well. So the Connection Manager, again, runs as an application designer-based site. Along with the v11.4 release, we'll be making a SharePoint 2010 and SharePoint 2013 version of this site template available to customers. You'll be able to download it from the Customer Center, upload it into your site collection, create it as a site, and use it to work with your instance of CAPS XT within your environment. And of course, once you've created those connections, they're available to be called and leveraged and used throughout your CorasWorks applications, including, as we saw here, through your CorasWorks grids, calendars, reports, and custom displays.